Well, greetings once again, my fellow Star Trek fans. I welcome you to another Star Trek related video. And again, this one is from Star Trek: The Next Generation. And this one involves the Eaglemoss build the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC-1701-D. Now, my last shipment was 14, and it had taken forever to get here, but I'm pleased to announce that we got shipment 15. I just got shipment 15 in the mail today. So without further ado, let's go check out and see what's in shipment number 15. Okay, let's get this open. All right, I'm going to show you guys the packing slip. And we've got the magazine, issue 55, 58. We got the build issue 55, 56, 57, and 58. Nice. All right. Let's see. Looks like we have this is different. I haven't gotten a sheet like this before. All right, what else we got in here? We got the packing paper. And let's see. Well, look at that. It looks like we're going to start building the bottom of the primary hull. This is parts pack number 58. And looks like we have a light. And it looks like they're changing the colors, at least in that light. And looks like we got some more lights, some screws, and the first pie plate, part of the frame. And the back. We're going to go through all of these. I just want to give you a quick little preview of what's coming out of the box. And it looks like we have another one. This is parts number 57. You can see we got a switch. And we've got another circuit board. And we've got another piece of the frame. So this is going to bring us back to like when we did the top half of the primary hull. Oh, look at this, guys. Love it. Parts pack number 56. Look it, we've got the phaser arrays that are going to go on top of the primary hull. And we've got the bottom of the nacelle. This is going to be really cool because this is just about going to finish it off. Love it. Looking forward to opening that. And we got another one. Let's see. This is number 55. And we've got another switch. And you can see some more of the parts. And we have, this looks like the section that's going to go behind the bridge area, behind the shuttle bay. But we'll see. All right. And we've got our magazine, issue number 15. Love it. Picture of the finished model. And that's everything in the box. So that's everything in the shipment. So let's go through the magazine with you guys, because I love doing this. And we'll see what we get in the parts list. And in this issue, you can see, looks like the bottom of the nacelle. And the captain's guides, I love those. Okay, stage 55. You can see 55A, which is deck 2, the deck 2 base. And I'm wondering if that's where the back of shuttle bay 1 is on a primary hull on the top, but we'll see. And it looks like we have a switch. Stage 56, you can see we've got phaser arrays for the top of the primary hull. And I don't know if they're going to screw in, but we got the bottom of the nacelle. Love that. Got some screws in the parts list. On to stage 57, you can see we've got the bottom, the starting of the frame for the primary hull. In 57B, we've got the PCB board number 3 for the saucer section. And again, we have another switch. We got some ties and some more screws. A lot of wires in that primary hull right now. On to stage 58. We've got another piece of the hull frame. 58B is the lock bracket. And we have some more lights and some more screws. Okay, so on to the assembly. Stage 55 assembly. Return, look how they spelled return. Return to the main bridge. The main bridge build, you assemble in issues 1 and 2 and integrate it with your near complete upper saucer section. Yep, and that's the piece that goes behind where shuttle bay 1 is. Wow, that's really going to start to close it in, and looks like we actually are going to close it in. The main bridge area, the impulse engine, port side. You can see how we're going to put that plate in together, and we're going to hold it in place with FM screws. Love it. Secure the panel from beneath using 6 FM screws. And look at that. We're finishing off the top. Part 01A that we got way back at the beginning. Retrieve your main bridge deck to assembly, last used in stage 5, and thread the deck panel lights through the saucer skeleton as shown. You can see where are they going to go into the new PCB board? Nope, looks like they're going to go into the existing one. Remove the 2 FM screws, detach saucer PCB2 from the skin, then further secure the main bridge deck assembly with 8 BM screws. Return the PCB board 2 to its previous position and reattach it to the skeletal structure. All right, so we're not using the new one yet. On to step C. Look at that. We got the impulse engine, the left saucer impulse engine. You can see we're going to secure that in place with AP screws. We're going to do the same thing with D. And we're going to secure that into the saucer section. Okay, take the battery box. So these are battery boxes. I wonder if they're going to have the small little button batteries. Place it in the round slot in the battery box power switch. We'll see when we get to that section. And we're on to stage 56 assembly. Complete the look of your upper saucer section with phaser array parts and aft formation lights. Then install a vital switch for your battle section. You can see the arrays, the phasers are going to be all completed. We're going to work on the port side warp nacelle. Place the dorsal phaser array 56A in the saucer assembly as shown. Hold the parts together as you secure them from below using 3 CP screws. So they're going to be screwed into place, but from underneath. You can see how they're going to be secured. Putting the phaser arrays on, 56C. Attaching it underneath. And the completion of the phaser array. Nice. So, step C. From below, push the red formation light into position, the aft port side of the saucer, adjacent to the reflector panel. I'm going to do that for both sides. Remove your battery box power switch, 55F, from stage 55 and then secure the battery box section inside the nacelle. So I guess there's going to be switches for everything. You can see the switch on the bottom. The terms port and starboard refer to the left and right side of your model relative to the captain's chair. The same applies when the terms left and right are used. Because you are not always working on your model parts in their final orientation, you will sometimes find yourself fitting parts named left or port, what means to be the right or starboard side, and vice versa. To avoid confusion, imagine yourself on the bridge of the Enterprise sitting in the captain's chair and picture whether the parts you are working on will eventually be on your left, port side, or right, starboard. On to 57. Another PCB board. See the entire upper saucer section light up and make the start a lower saucer framework. Love it. Can't wait for that. You can see the lock pin and a spring. You can see the section we're going to be working on. And on the bottom part, retrieve the nacelle lower and position lock and assembly. So we're going to put more parts into the lower part. Including the springs. Keep the springs in your packaging until you need them and work on a light colored surface so they are easier to see if they roll or spring from your grasp. And sometimes these little pieces have a mind of their own and they just like to shoot across the room. Okay. Step B, we got the saucer PCB board cable. Plug it into the in and out. Then you can see we're going to start plugging in. We're going to hold them in place with FM screws. Part C, take the saucer power switch and plug it into the socket marked SW1 on the saucer PCB 1. Next, plug the panel lights 33C and 36H into the slots marked A on saucer PCB 3. And eventually, we're going to tuck all the wires into place, and we're going to make it neat. On to step D, plug the battery pack into the socket marked IN2 on the saucer PCB board 1. And you can see the whole LED, the whole upper saucer section is going to light up. That's going to make a great picture. Can't wait for that. Now we start doing the saucer section on the bottom. We start with the frame. It's going to be a little easier doing it this way because we're going to run this along the top. And it's just a matter of lying it on the frame and putting the screws in. And stage 58, you can see another spring with a lock pin. And again, on the bottom nacelle, remember previously we had done that side, secure in place with AM screws. And we're going to run the formation, the bulb, threading it through. The skeleton is shown. You can see the part locator. Now we moved over to another section on the frame, and we're working on that nacelle. So part C, take the aft port formation LED 58F and plug it into the larger of the two slots marked W on the saucer PCB board 1. So we now have 3 circuit boards in the primary hull. Section D, take one of the 2 formation LEDs and plug it into either of the 2 sockets marked GR on saucer PCB board 1. And thread the end of the cable with the bulb through the skeletal structure and part as saucer as shown. Plug the second formation LED into the other GR socket. You can see how the wire is going underneath. And now we put the second part of the frame on. Place the lower skeleton, 58A, on the saucer as shown, tucking it under the edge of the lower section skeleton 4. As you guys can see, it goes underneath. So that's going to help lock it into place and make sure everything is snug and secure. You can see how it's looking. Slide the saucer power switch to the on position in front formation. It should stay lit, while the others, 58E, 58F, and 58G, should all blink in unison. Stage 58 is now complete. System Diagnose Diagnostic. If any of the LED lights in your build don't work, when you come to test them, try the following steps in order. Try using the fresh batteries. Plug the non-functioning lights in the battery box to one of your other PCB boards. Test a PCB board with another set of lights from elsewhere in the build. So that's going to be fun. All right, now we get to one of my favorite part of the magazine, and that's the episode guides. Okay, this is Captain's Holiday. Time loops, titillation, and visions of an android Picard were all considered for this unusual episode. Episode 3.19, which premiered April 2nd of 1990. While reluctantly vacationing from the Enterprise, Captain Picard becomes involved with a devil-may-care woman called Vash in her quest to find a priceless 27th century artifact. Could this be the artifact? Senior illustrator and technical consultant Rick Sternbach's concept art for the Horgah, I pronounced that probably wrong, the Rizian fertility idol, first seen in this episode. A simple handshake would have sufficed. Picard responds to Vash's hello kiss. Captain Picard is definitely not Captain Kirk. Next episode, we have The Tin Man. Cutting-edge effects and a standout score brought this 1970s story idea firmly into the 1990s. This is episode 3.20, which premiered April 23rd of 1990. The Enterprise is endangered when a Betazoid First Contact specialist develops a telepathic bond with a powerful, living starship known as Tin Man. You guys remember that ship was, it was really kind of cool looking. It was like a big living thing that was actually like another ship. Harry Groner, Tam Elbrum, also made guest appearances in Voyager and Enterprise. You remember he ends up on the ship. I'm not going back, Data. Tam Elbrun aboard GOM 2. GOM 2 is the entity ship, by the way. Senior illustrator Rick Sternbach's concept art for the Tin Man was inspired by the thermal pod ship in the 1984 cult sci-fi movie The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. Starting with the episode Allegiance, both Sternbach and scenic artist Mike Okuda were additionally credited as technical consultants on the show. This episode was amusing. The Reg, he has his complex where the inferiority complex, remember he was using the holodeck and he made Picard and Riker and the officers look like buffoons while he was in command. This is called Hollow Pursuits. How a much-loved character has his roots in German folklore and Michael Pillar's party fairs too. I'm not a big fan of Barclay. He's not one. He's really not one of my favorite characters. Him and Wesley Crusher are really not high on my list. This is episode 3.21, premiered April 30th of 1990. A junior crew member's holodeck addiction comes to light at the same time as a series of inexplainable events sets the Enterprise on course for disaster. Holo Wesley, his look was based on the Blue Boy, as painted by Thomas Gainsborough. The people that I create in there are more real to me than anyone I meet out here. Reginald Barclay to Geordie LaForge. You can understand, too, how people would get addicted to the holodeck. That would just be a tremendous, tremendous invention. We got Jonathan Frakes admires Patrick Stewart's award-nominated hairpiece during the break from filming. Okay, this one is really cool. The Most Toys. The first of 3 Star Trek The Next Generation episodes by Sherry Goodharts featured a last-minute change of guest star. And that's Keenan Fargo. Offhand, I don't remember. This is episode 3.22, premiered May 7th of 1990. An immoral collector fakes Data's death in order to add the android to his vault of unique objects. You remember he actually had a baseball card, too, that smelled of bubble gum. Concept art for one of the creatures owned by Fajo. The lapling seen in the episode was a hand puppet created by makeup supervisor Michael Westmore. Let's see. David Rappaport is Kivas Fajo, wearing far more extensive makeup than was used for Saul Rubinek. You knew the price for disobedience, and so did she. Killing Varia. I liked Varia. I was upset when he killed her. She was nothing but loyal to him. Kivas Fajo. That's I couldn't remember his name offhand. All right. Oh, this is an amazing episode. I love connections to the original series. And who doesn't love Sarek? The name of this episode is Sarek. Centering an episode around the original series character and naming another was a significant breakthrough for Star Trek The Next Generation. Now, we've had, let's see, Dr. McCoy, Mr. Spock, Sarek, Scotty, Mr. Scott. Trying to think, was there anybody else? We have Marjo Barrett, the computer voice. I'm not sure if there are any others. This is episode 3.23, which premiered May 14th of 1990. Ambassador Sarek's arrival on the Enterprise coincides with an outbreak of violent emotions among the crew. Joanna Mills returned to play Sarek's wife, Perrin, again in Season 5's Unification. Is it logical for a Vulcan to cry? Picard confronts Sarek. Remember, Sarek was looking, he was watching the playing of the symphony, and he was crying. That's when he first noticed that there was something wrong. Senior illustrator and technical consultant Rick Sternbach's concept art for the Legerans' quarters on the Enterprise. The term OccuPanels refers to the handcrafted computer interface graphics made by scenic artist and Sternbach's fellow technician consultant Mike Okuda. That's really cool. You guys remember it was like that tub that they would get into? And who wouldn't want a hot tub in their own ready room, right? Got another cool picture of Sarek. I may have been accused of many things in my life, never in excess of emotion. Ambassador Sarek. Besides playing Sarek in the original series, Star Trek The Next Generation, and 3 movies, Mark Lenard's portrayed a Romulan commander in the original series episode Balance of Terror, and a Klingon captain in Star Trek The Motion Picture. He also voiced Sarek in Yesteryear, an episode of Star Trek The Animated Series. I love Mark Lenard. Nice picture of him with Walter Koenig, Mr. Chekhov. Mark Lenard in his original series and Trek movie co-star Walter Koenig, Chekhov, who visited the Next Generation sets during the filming of Sarek. The two men were preparing to work together in a play, The Boys' Autumn, at the Los Angeles Art Theater in August of 1990. They went on to tour in the same production during 1993. I don't think Mr. Chekhov was in Star Trek The Next Generation, but I could be mistaken. I don't remember that. Another picture. Les Landau, far left, directs his cast for the concert scene, a scene which Sarek sheds a tear. Mark Lenard did not actually cry on set. The teardrop was in fact milk trickling down from a vinyl notebook cover. This visual effect supervisor Dan Curry filmed separately and added to the close-up of Lenard in post-production. Les Landau, I wonder if he's related to Martin Landau, of course, Commander Koenig from Space 1999. And that is the end. That's everything in this edition, or shipment number 15. So why don't we go ahead and we start looking at these wonderful parts. So let's start with 55. Yeah, all right, let's do it that way. We've got a lot of little parts in this one. Okay. First off, we have, you can see the battery. It looks like it's going to use a button battery. And we got the switch, and this is going to go in the bottom of the nacelle. All right. What else we got? All right, we got our usual collection of packets of screws. We got FM. You can see this is going to be holding that lock pin in place. And we've got, look at that, the impulse engine. Let's see, which one is this? This port or starboard? Not sure, but look at that. Love it. And it looks like this could be the background or the reflector panel, but we'll see. Let's see, we got another reflector panel. And we've got the other side. Love it. Look at that impulse engine. It's going to look so cool when it's running. And in that area, let's see, we got one packet of AP screws. All right, let's get to the, all right, let's show you this first. We got a packet of the BM screws that's going to hold it in place. And let's get to this part. Look at that. This is going to go right behind the shuttle bay 1. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, there is Aztecing, but it's only along these sections because the back piece of the bridge area is going to come down to about here. Love it. Beautiful. And that's everything in packet number 55, or issue 55. Let's take a look at 56. This is going to be cool. And these are all the phasor arrays. All right, so it looks like there's 2 in each section. You can see it's going to be fun to put these on. So we got 2. This is the end one. You can tell because it's rounded. Let's see. We've got 2 more. Here's the other rounded one. And we've got the last 2. Don't forget, we had already put a piece of the section of the phasor array into the primary hull. Let's see, it looks like we have CP screws. And we've got green lights. I'm sure this is what's going to be blinking. And on the same token, we've got red. And we've got another packet of screws. These are DM. And we have GM. We don't have a lot of the GM screws. There it is. All right, let's get to the... Oh, yeah, look at that. Let's get to my favorite part of this issue. Look at this. And this is metal. I love it. Of course, we're going to get to finish off the nacelle. Look at the detail. And I guess this is where the battery compartment is going to go, where the button batteries will work this unit. You can see the switch. So I'm thinking, and really, there's going to be a switch for everything. Each individual section is going to have a switch. But this is really constructed nicely. This is, like, again, it's all metal. It's beautifully painted. You can see the Aztecing. Oh, I love this. Eaglemoss, please do this for the Star Trek Star Trek the Motion Picture refit. And make it in a larger scale, like the studio model. Oh man, would I love that. But this is really awesome. This is going to be really fun. Is that everything? Yep. And that's it. That's everything. That's in issue number 56. All right, let's take a look at issue number 57. Okay, let's start at the top. You can see we got a switch, and I'm thinking this is the switch that's going to activate the primary hull. And it looks like we have a cap for our lock plate, our lock pin. And we got a couple of packets of screws. No, actually, I'm sorry. This is a packet with a spring and the lock pin. Let's see, there are 2 of these. Nope. This is a packet of AM screws. And it looks like we got another packet of the FM screws. No doubt that's going to hold the frame in place. Okay. Looks like we've got a connector for the PCB boards. And speaking of PC boards, we got a brand new one. So let's take it out of the plastic. Looks like part Z or N, depending how you look at it. Look at that. You can see the output and the input. One out, one out. And let's see. It's so small I can't really read the board. Okay, so look at that. And oh, we have a bunch of ties. You can see the zip ties we're going to use to secure the wires in the primary hull so they won't be as messy. And let's get to the frame. Oh, looks like there's another packet of screws in there too. These are the BM screws. Lots of screws in this kit. And we have our first section of the bottom of the saucer section frame. Very solid. And it's going to be easier at this point. We'll just lay it on the frame and put the screws in because the bottom is already built. Is that everything? Yep, that's everything in issue number 57. And we've got packet or issue number 58. So let's get this one open. Let's do this first. I'll show you guys the second part of the frame. And you guys remember this is going to go underneath the first one. So it'll kind of lock it into place, and you can see where the next one is going to go underneath and lock under this one. You can see the curvature. Nice. All right, let's get these other pieces out. All right, don't want to spill any. And we got a light with the 2 pins. We got a different color one now. We got white and green. I'm thinking this is going to be one of the blinking ones. You can see the 4 pins in the clip. And that was accompanied by a packet of FM screws. Okay, the next one, let's see, it's the same thing. Port and starboard blinking lights. We got the double pin. And we see the spring with the pin for the other side. And lots more screws, more BM screws. And let's see, these are really long. You know what, maybe these are going to be the blinking ones. We'll see. These are square so that you can see that they fit into something. Or maybe these go into the impulse engines. We'll see, because these are really long. And we've got a plate for the lock pin. And guess what? More screws. This is a packet of the AM screws. And is that everything? Yep, that's everything in issue number 58. And that, my friends, is everything that's included in shipment number 15. We've got issue 58, 57, 56, and 55. And we'll be starting the frame for the bottom of the primary hull and finishing off in the cell as well as the top of the primary hull. And until our build, which will be coming up very soon, I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.